Before The Godfather was a masterpiece, it was a death sentence. Real bullets, real threats, real men in the shadows, deciding who lives long enough to finish the movie. You think you know this story? You don't. Not yet. Picture this. It's 1971. You're 29-year-old Al Pacino. You open your mailbox in a rundown Manhattan building, and inside is one live bullet and a Polaroid of your mother asleep in her bed, taken through the window the night before. Everything started with a man who was drowning in debt and nearly dead. Mario Puzo, 45 years old. 2 heart attacks behind him, minus $40,000 from casinos. His wife yelling, kids hungry. He sits in his tiny apartment on Long Island, one dim lamp glowing, hammering away on an old Olivetti typewriter until 5 in the morning. He invents the Corleone family because he grew up among similar Sicilians in Hell's Kitchen, hearing those stories at the table when adults switch to whispers. He writes the scene with the horse's head in the bed and laughs out loud, because he knows it's true. Just no one dared say it aloud before. The book comes out in March 1969. First, silence. Then, boom, like a bomb went off. People line up at night to buy it. Women hide it under pillows. Men read it on the subway and miss their stops. Nearly 2 million copies sold in a year. And then, in Brooklyn, in a small social club on President Street, one man picks up the book and stops smiling. Joseph Colombo Sr., boss of the Colombo family. Neat haircut, expensive suit, politician smile, and hands elbow deep in blood. He flips the pages and sees his own life, just Colombo swapped for Corleone. He closes the book, puts it on the table, and quietly tells his capos, "This isn't a novel. This is a snitch." A week later, he creates the Italian-American Civil Rights League, publicly fighting discrimination against Italians. In reality, a shield so no one dares call Italians mafiosi. And then he learns Paramount bought the film rights for a ridiculous $80,000. Colombo calls the other 4 New York bosses on an encrypted phone and says one phrase: "If this movie comes out, we'll be the laughingstock of America." Meanwhile, in Los Angeles, chaos reigns. Paramount is on the brink of bankruptcy. Studio head Charlie Bluedorn ready to sell a kidney to save the company. He reads the book overnight, jumps up at 3 a.m. and yells to his secretary, "We're filming this now." They appoint Al Ruddy as producer, a tall, bald, always smiling Canadian Jew who doesn't know yet that soon he'll sleep with a loaded revolver under his pillow. They want any director but an Italian. They offer Elia Kazan, Otto Preminger. Ruddy brings in a young bearded guy who just made The Rain People, Francis Ford Coppola. The studio freaks. An Italian filming about the Mafia. Coppola reads the book in one night, cries, and calls his mom in Detroit. "Mom, I'm filming our family, just instead of a happy ending blood." And that's when the real nightmare begins. One night, Al Ruddy leaves his office on Madison Avenue. His brand new Cadillac Eldorado is parked outside, all 4 windows smashed to pieces. On the driver's seat, a handwritten note: "Shut it down, or we shut you down. Forever." No signature. Just a drawing, a gun and a coffin, 2 days later, Frank Sinatra corners Ruddy in Giovanni's restaurant in Beverly Hills, grabs him by the lapels in front of everyone, and hisses through his teeth, breath smelling of whiskey and cigars. "You little son of a bitch, you're making me a whore for the whole world." This ends bad, believe me. Sinatra's furious. Everyone knows Johnny Fontane is him. The scene with "I'll make him an offer he can't refuse" is how he got his role in From Here to Eternity. And he's not joking. Later, in FBI transcripts from 1970, declassified only in 2018 in the FBI vault, an undercover agent reports, Sinatra called Columbo personally, demanding, "Get this crap out of the script, or I'll come and smash the camera myself." The FBI was already watching Sinatra, their dossier 2,000 pages long, and it's black on white. Fontane, code name for Sinatra in Columbo family talks. Then the letters to Al Pacino start. He's a nobody then, living in a cheap apartment on 110th Street, sleeping on a mattress on the floor. Every Friday, a white envelope without a stamp in the mailbox. He opens it, inside a .38 caliber bullet and a photo. First his sister on the street, then his mom Sonia, sleeping in her Bronx bed, shot through the window at night. On the back, always the same. Michael must die. Poor Al. His eyes huge like a deer's in headlights. The bullet heavy brass engraved with M for Michael. First photo, sister walking Broadway, taken from a roof with zoom, even a stray hair from under her scarf visible. On the back, pencil. Family is sacred. Don't touch. Second, Mom Sonia asleep. Curtains parted, moon hitting the window, her lips moving in sleep. Caption, Michael must die. Or she. Pacino doesn't sleep nights. Hides the photos in a drawer, but they burn like coals. Later, in his 2007 memoirs, he admits, "I thought it was the end. I called my agent every 2 hours. They know where my mom lives." And the FBI? In their New York field office files, declassified in the 1990s, there's a report from Agent Edgar Hoover Sr. Pacino Al received threats from Columbo associates. Photos professional, possibly with Nikon F from Family Arsenal. Recommendation, escort for family. But no one came. The FBI was hunting communists, not Italian fairy tales. Pacino starts sleeping with the light on, calls Coppola and whispers, "Francis, I don't know if I can finish." Marlon Brando gets a call that chills even him, the guy who fought paparazzi and broke cameras. Night, rain lashing the windows in Malibu. He's alone, kids asleep upstairs. Phone rings like a toll bell. Calm Sicilian voice. "Don Vito, you play my life too well. $1 million on your account tomorrow morning if you vanish from the movie. If not, we come for your kids. You know we're not joking." Click. Silence. Brando hangs up, goes to the bathroom, looks in the mirror, and for the first time sees fear in his eyes. At 4:15 a.m., he calls Coppola. "Francis, they know the addresses. Choky, my daughter. I can't risk it." Coppola, half asleep, mumbles, "Marlon, it's a bluff. We're protected." But Brando doesn't sleep. Next day, he stuffs cotton in his cheeks for the screen test, and magic happens. But in his diary, published posthumously in 2004, there's an entry. "They watched me. Black caddy with tinted windows, at the gate 3 nights. I looked out and saw a shadow with a cigar. That was Columbo's man. The studio's in chaos. Bomb threats, Paramount evacuated twice. Sirens wailing through Manhattan, people running downstairs with coffee in hand. Letters pour in, from congressmen in New York, New Jersey, even Louisiana. One from a Brooklyn judge dated December 15th, 1970. This Godfather is poison for our nation. It sows hatred for Italians, making us synonymous with killers. Stop filming or we'll use all levers, from Teamsters to electricians' unions. The FBI intercepts 200 such letters, marked in their archives as Columbo League propaganda. And Teamsters? Jimmy Hoffa, union boss, calls Evans. "Robert, your trucks won't move to New York until Columbo says yes." Evans, panicking, yells at Ruddy, "Al, this is your fault. You're Jewish. They hate you." The studio panics. They say, "Shut down the project. Return the money, all of it." And then Al Ruddy does what no one would dare, even in a nightmare. He takes a ticket to New York, alone, no guards, no weapon. Calls the League and asks for a sit-down with Joe Columbo himself. They reply, "Funeral parlor on 69th Street, midnight, alone." He flies to New York alone, heart pounding like a drum. Midnight. Ruddy walks into the dark place, smelling of formalin and flowers, coffins in the corner like film props. 10 goons in black suits, not one smiling. In the back, behind a table, Columbo, small, neat, in glasses. On the table, the whole script, 300 pages. Ruddy puts his hands on the table and says, "Cross out whatever you want. Just let us film." Columbo nods, takes a red pen, Mont Blanc, gift from Sinatra. Reads until dawn, smokes one after another, silent. Anthony flips pages, frowns at the horse scene. "That's low, Al. Real." Ruddy nods. "Delete if you want." At 6 a.m., Columbo leans back, exhales smoke. One word, Mafia, and Cosa Nostra. Not once. And we'll help. Extras, security, streets. Ruddy shakes hands. Deal. But that's not all. In declassified FBI documents from 1971, file NY 101-45678, Vault 2015. There's a transcript of their talk, mic in the lamp, agent next room. "Columbo, Al, you're one of us. But if the word leaks, your head on a platter." Ruddy, Joe, like brothers. Columbo, good. Anthony will give real guys. Secret agreement. League reads script early. 1,500 delegates at a March 12th, 1971 meeting in Park Sheraton Hotel. Ruddy on stage, sweat pouring, applause thundering. And jobs. Real gangsters for extras. No less than 50 roles. Deal sealed. Now the set in New York becomes things that would make any normal person's hair stand on end. Wedding scene at the start. 300 extras. Half real Columbo family soldiers. The big guy kissing Brando's hand and saying, "Grazie, compare." That's underboss Carmine Sonny Franzese. 250 pounds of muscle, convicted for racketeering in 1965. He stands on set, arms crossed, and Coppola whispers to his assistant, "Don't piss him off, he's real." Lenny Montana? Oh, legend. Ex-wrestler, Columbo enforcer, 6'5", fists like sledgehammers. Comes to check, sees the Luca Brasi audition, and Coppola. "Lenny, that's your role." Montana, with Columbo Forever tattoo on his bicep, mumbles, "Me? Actor? Haha." But he films, nervous, forgets lines. Brando laughs. "Boy, breathe." Photos from set, Paramount Archive, 1971. Montana in suit. Real gangsters in fedoras smoking, whispering. One black and white, Montana hugging Brando. Caption, "Luca meets Don Vito. Real life." Another, group of 20 in front of sets, faces blurred, but FBI identified 5 associates from 1984 pizza connection case. Security, snipers on Little Italy roofs with M1 rifles just in case. Filming Sollozzo's murder, real gun, blanks, and gangsters behind the camera nod. Exactly. 2 to the back of the head, control to the eye. Coppola later says, they made the movie authentic and scary. And the FBI watched every step. July 15th, 1971 report. Ruddy met Columbo in funeral parlor. Deal, no Mafia word. In return, extras from League, monitoring set for infiltration. They even confiscated set photos. One with Columbo Jr. shaking Evan's hand, marked potential extortion. And in 2023, on the Revisionist History podcast, Malcolm Gladwell revealed FBI had mics on set. Recorded Montana whispering to Brando, "If the film is okay, we'll cover you. If not, sleep with the window open." March 14th, 1972. New York premiere. Joe Columbo in the front row in a tux, clapping, smiling at flashes. "See, we're not like that. This is just cinema." Anthony's mad. They weren't invited officially. Ruddy arranges a private screening at Regent Theater. Columbo watches silent. Then, "Good. But remember the deal." 3 months later, June 28th, Columbus Circle. League rally, 5,000 people, flags, speeches. Joe steps to the podium, crowd roars. Step forward, black guy Jerome Johnson, 3 shots to the back of the head. Blood splatters the mic. Joe falls, eyes glassy. Security drops the killer on the spot, 3 bullets to the chest. Joe doesn't die right away. 7 years as a vegetable in a chair, blind, with a tube in his throat. Killer never found. Orderers, too. FBI blames Crazy Joe Gallo, but in their 1972 files, possible internal war. Columbo violated omerta by going public. And Gallo, whacked in 1972 at Umberto's Clam House, shrimp in hand. The film blows up the box office. $287 million, 3 Oscars, eternal classic. But the echo doesn't fade. In the 1980s Pizza Connection case, FBI finds tapes. Mafiosi quoting, "I'll make him an offer he can't refuse." In 2018 wiretap of Joseph Amadu. Brasi and Barzini are guys now. And in 2023, before dying, a Columbo soldier whispers to an interviewer, "We let them make the movie, but took our fee. Joe knew the price the day he signed." So when the credits roll and you hear that familiar theme, remember this. The movie survived not because Hollywood was brave, but because the real men it portrayed decided to let it breathe. Every scene sits on a knife edge of history, bribed, threatened, erased, or rewritten in smoke-filled rooms where a wrong word cost more than a career. The Godfather didn't just imitate life. It bargained with it, bled for it, and walked away only because the streets allowed it. And the silence around the word they banned from the script? That silence is the loudest truth of all.